When people talk about the greatest strikers of this generation, one name is impossible to ignore: Robert Lewandowski. A player who went from being rejected as a teenager in Poland to becoming one of the greatest goal scorers football has ever seen. Over 600 career goals, Champions League winner, Golden Boot winner, one of the most dominant strikers of the modern era. But this story isn't just about goals, it's about resilience. Because Lewandowski's career nearly ended before it even began. And years later, when FC Barcelona were struggling financially, emotionally, and competitively, he made the shocking decision to join them anyway. Not for money, not for comfort, but to restore greatness. Today, we're going through the complete story of Robert Lewandowski, his journey, his struggles, his records, and the legacy he leaves behind at Barcelona. Few players in football have aged like Lewandowski. Most strikers decline in their 30s. Lewandowski, he became even more complete. Elite movement, elite finishing, elite professionalism. But the scary part, he was never considered a generational prodigy. Unlike Messi, unlike Ronaldo, unlike Neymar. Lewandowski had to build himself into greatness, and that journey started in Poland. Lewandowski was born on August 21st, 1988 in Warsaw, Poland. Sports ran through his family. His father was a judo champion and football player. His mother played volleyball professionally. But despite his talent, Lewandowski's path wasn't easy. As a teenager, he was considered too skinny and physically weak. One of Poland's biggest clubs at the time actually released him because they didn't believe he had the physical tools to succeed. That rejection could have destroyed his career. Instead, it became fuel. Lewandowski started climbing through the lower divisions of Polish football. He played for Delta Warsaw, Lech Warsaw, Zenit Pruszków. And at Zenit Pruszków, everything changed. He became top scorer in Poland's third division, then top scorer in Poland's second division. Suddenly, people realized this wasn't just another striker. This was a machine. In 2008, Lewandowski joined Lech Poznan. This was his breakthrough into top-level football, and he immediately delivered. At Lech Poznan, he scored 41 goals in 82 appearances. He won the Polish League title, the Polish Cup, the Polish Super Cup, all while being the Polish League top scorer. But more importantly, European clubs started paying attention because Lewandowski wasn't just scoring goals. He was evolving into a complete striker. Intelligent movement, hold-up play, aerial dominance, clinical finishing. And in 2010, one of the biggest clubs in Germany made their move. Lewandowski joined Borussia Dortmund under Jürgen Klopp. At first, things weren't easy. He wasn't immediately the starter. He had to adapt to a new country, new language, higher intensity football. But Klopp saw something special, and once Lewandowski became the main striker, everything exploded. At Dortmund, Lewandowski scored 103 goals in 187 appearances. He won 2 Bundesliga titles, a DFB Pokal, and a Champions League final appearance. But the moment that changed his career forever happened in 2013. Champions League semi-final, Dortmund versus Real Madrid. Lewandowski scored 4 goals against Madrid. 4. Against Sergio Ramos, against one of the biggest clubs in football history. That night transformed him into a global superstar. Then came the controversial move. In 2014, Lewandowski joined FC Bayern Munich on a free transfer, and this is where he became immortal. At Bayern, Lewandowski evolved into arguably the most complete striker of the modern era. 344 goals in 375 appearances. I'll say that again. 344 goals. Absolutely absurd. Lewandowski won 8 Bundesliga titles, a UEFA Champions League, a FIFA Club World Cup, multiple German Cups, European Golden Shoe, FIFA Best Men's Player Awards. And then came one of the most ridiculous moments in football history. In 2015, Lewandowski scored 5 goals in 9 minutes against Wolfsburg. 5 goals, 9 minutes. That performance honestly looked like it was made by AI. But the peak came in 2020. Lewandowski led Bayern to the treble: Bundesliga, German Cup, Champions League. And many fans still believe he was robbed of the Ballon d'Or that year after the award was cancelled. I'm one of those fans. Because statistically, he was unstoppable. Lewandowski scored 55 goals in 47 matches, one of the greatest individual striker seasons ever. What makes Lewandowski's story special isn't just the trophies, it's the mentality. Remember, he was rejected for being too weak, overlooked early in his career, constantly doubted outside of Poland. Even after becoming world class, he still had critics. People claimed he only scored in Germany, he disappeared in big matches, he benefited from Bayern's dominance. But year after year, Lewandowski kept proving people wrong. And what separated him from most strikers was professionalism. His diet, his conditioning, his recovery, his discipline, all became legendary. While other players declined physically, Lewandowski extended his prime through obsession and preparation. Then came the moment nobody expected. In 2022, Lewandowski left Bayern to join Barcelona. At the time, Barcelona were in chaos. The club had financial problems, sporting instability, Champions League humiliations, an aging squad, and uncertainty everywhere. Many people questioned the move. Why would one of the best strikers in the world leave Bayern for this, Barcelona? But Lewandowski believed in the project. He believed Barcelona could return to greatness, and immediately he changed the mentality of the club. From the moment Lewandowski arrived, he became the leader of a new era. He had an immediate impact on the club with his goals, his professionalism, his leadership, and his winning mentality. Young players like Lamine Yamal, Pedri, Gavi all benefited enormously from his experience. And despite Barcelona's instability, Lewandowski helped restore belief. Immediately upon his arrival, Barcelona won La Liga title, Spanish Super Cup, and Lewandowski won the Pichichi Award as the top scorer of La Liga. But beyond trophies, he restored standards. Barcelona finally had leadership, professionalism, elite finishing, and a player who understood what winning looked like. During one of the darkest periods in the club's modern history, Lewandowski chose Barcelona, and that decision helped accelerate the club's recovery. Now, as Lewandowski prepares to leave Barcelona, football says goodbye to one of the greatest strikers ever, a player who conquered Germany, dominated Europe, carried Poland, and helped rebuild Barcelona. His numbers are legendary. His consistency is legendary. But his mentality, that's what truly separates him. Because Robert Lewandowski wasn't born a superstar. He became one. Through discipline, through resilience, through obsession. And that's why his story will inspire football fans for generations. So where does Robert Lewandowski land amongst the top strikers in history? Top 10? Top 5? Is he better than Benzema? Is he better than Luis Suarez? Let me know down below in the comment section. And if you enjoyed this documentary and you would like to see more, also let me know down below in the comment section. And don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and as always, peace, Barca.